Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now in this video, we will be reviewing McFarlane DC Direct Page Puncher 0 Hour Superman. Now this is 0 Hour Superman, but for me, this is actually the look that I was expecting when they announced the Return of Superman figure, which was kind of disappointing because the body mold that they used there for me was really, I don't know what McFarlane was thinking there, because they reused the Dark Knight body mold, which I don't think is even close to the aesthetic of the Return of Superman figure. Now this one, although it says 0 Hour, I kind of expecting that I think it is the same look the Superman has when he returned after the whole Reign of Superman storyline, because this is the Superman which has the long hair. Anyway guys, let's start with the packaging. Now, since this is a DC Direct Page Puncher, he comes into this complete clamshell packaging, which is a clear plastic. And if you are an inbox collector, this is actually one of the best packaging that you could have, because basically it's just a 100% clear packaging of the figure. Now at the back, since this is Page Puncher, it shows the comic book, which is 0 Hour, which, well, as what they say, is the main basis of this version of Superman. Now let us unbox this and see if McFarlane did justice to this version of Superman in action figure form. Okay, so these are everything out of the box. And as usual, standard McFarlane base or stand. Standard McFarlane art card with the short biography of Superman at the back. And of course, since this is the Page Puncher comic book for the 0 Hour, and may I say that if any company out there wants to get an IP from DC that is, is story specific, I think they can get the 0 Hour storyline, because most of the classic looking characters are in here. Look at that Batgirl, the Joker. Wait, there's even Darkseid here. Flash. Anyway guys, it's a comic book. I'm kind of actually hoping that when McFarlane loses the DC Multiverse license, they're still able to release figures through this line, the DC Direct Page Puncher, because if I'm not mistaken, the DC Direct brand is completely separate from the DC Multiverse line. So yeah, maybe Mattel can start releasing 6-inch figures, and McFarlane will just stay on the 7-inch figure, so that they won't, compete on the DC Multiverse figures. Now for an accessory, it doesn't really come with anything. It just comes with this wide open or flying hands. So here is a complete 360-degree look of 0 Hour Superman, which, as I said, for me, is the version of that I was also expecting for the Return of Superman version, because I think they practically have the same look. And this time they actually used the better, or for me is the best body mold that they have for Superman, which is the Silver Age body mold. And for me, even if they keep reusing this body mold, I'm okay with it, because as I said, for me, this is the best Superman body mold. And I this I guess I can say is almost the perfect Superman figure, except for the fact that I think by now you can already see it. His cape has no wire. Now, if you're gonna give Superman a cape and put no wire in it, I kinda hope that they use a different material compared to this. I kinda wish that they use a more cloth-like material like this one, because if this doesn't have any wire, it will still fall down naturally. While in the case of this one, this material that they use, because it has no wire, it tends to fall down like this, which for me kind of looks goopy. Now let's have a closer look at the head sculpt, which is the selling point of this figure. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good looking head sculpt for this version of Superman. Then looking down at the torso, nice big Superman logo. It's not sculpted but printed, but I don't have any problem with it because it is actually done very clean. And then I saw that. Okay, I guess it's not that clean because my copy has that little smudge of paint over there. Man, I almost said it's a perfect logo, but yeah, what is that? Anyway, this is a complete reuse of the Silver Age body mold Superman, which, as I said, is the best body mold. So when they announced this and I saw the promo pic, I really said, okay, that's gonna be my perfect return of Superman figure. And as usual, guys, I say this is almost perfect, except for the fact that it doesn't have any wire on its cape, so it just falls down like that, and reduce the playability when posing him. I do like the fact that that they always put the S logo now on most of their releases of Superman character. That is actually just something that for me is a necessity. And yeah, this would have been perfect if only they put wire on it. I mean, look at it. It's actually sewn all around, including the bottom. That's why actually I was under the impression that it has a wire when I saw it in box, but now I'm sorry, guys. Unfortunately, as usual, McFarlane will always give us a reason to say that this is not the perfect Superman figure, but almost. And in the case of this one, for me, at least for me, for my personal opinion, not putting wire on this cape is really McFarlane dropping the ball again. Sometimes I think they just do it intentionally, just so you won't say that you have the perfect Superman figure. And here he is next to the Return of Superman figure they released before, which, again, as I said, is it a huge improvement? Definitely. Don't get me wrong, this Dark Knight Returns Superman body mold, for me, is actually awesome, but it only serves a specific niche. The main reason why I love their Dark Knight Returns wave that they released on the first or second year of McFarlane holding the DC Multiverse license, is that because this mold was really done in order for it to really look like the one in comics. That's why I love it. I love both the Batman and Superman in the Dark Knight Return figures. But unfortunately, as I said, this mold only serve a specific niche, which is the Dark Knight Returns storyline. Reusing it for other storyline, example this one, and then saying that this is the Return of Superman version, it doesn't work. I mean, it just looks goopy. It doesn't look goopy if you think that this is the Dark Knight Returns Superman. I love it, but you're telling me that this is your figure for the Return of Superman. Yeah, it's too bizarro looking. So this 0 Hour Superman is definitely an upgrade. Now, if you are curious if you can do a head swap between the two, I think you can because they have the same peg. Unfortunately though, if you will look closer, they don't have the same skin tone. Yeah, let's try swapping them. So here he is after I head swap him with the Return of Superman head sculpt, and unfortunately I think the difference in skin tone is too much that it really doesn't look that good. But another thing that I think is the reason why I find that this doesn't work is that I think the head sculpt is too small for this body mold. What do you think, guys? Is it okay? I think the neck looks too big. If you use this head sculpt, because I think it is too small for this body mold. Please leave in the comment below, guys, if you think does this work? Articulation wise, yep, articulation is there. I cannot look up because of the Vidal Sassoon here. And I think there are angles that I think it works, but yeah, the skin tone for me is just way too different. And here he is, guys, back with the normal, with its normal head sculpt that comes with him. And yeah, I do think that the Return of Superman head sculpt is too small because after putting this back, look at it, the neck look normal now. The Return of Superman head sculpt is just too small for this body mold. Now let's go with the articulation, which I think there won't be anything surprising here because again, this is a reuse of the Silver Age Superman. So articulation wise, standard McFarlane articulation. For the torso, then the waist rotation. And yeah, McFarlane has always had a good range when it comes to leaning back on this one, but leaning forward is always the problem. I don't know why they haven't fixed that. You cannot lean forward. Side to side is okay. For the legs, yeah, I think the thigh articulation works on this one. Then you can kick forward that far. Can kick backward that far. Double jointed knee. Then ankle pivot. Then there's also rotation here. And that, and then toe articulation. And then you can do the bend down. So yeah, typical McFarlane figure articulation. Now for some size comparison, here he is next to Power Girl. Here he is next to Kingdom Come Superman. which, if I may say, uses a better material for the cape. I know that this one's actually wired, but even if this is not wired, I believe that this material pulls down more naturally as compared to this one that they used. Here he is next to Christopher Reeve's Superman. Here he is next to Wonder Woman. Here he is next to Silver Age Superman, which uses the same body mold. And as of right now, is still my definitive Superman displayed in my shelf. Here he is next to Al Jordan Green Lantern. I know, guys, that this is not the best mold for the Al Jordan Green Lantern, but this repaint, I really like it, and it pops very well when displayed on my shelf. Here he is next to, is this New 52 or Rebirth Superman? I already forgot. Anyway, in the case of this one, this actually uses the cape material that I like, but unfortunately they also didn't put wire on it, and they also sewed the entire area of the cape, and that is why it looks like that. Here he is next to Superboy. Here he is next to Supergirl. And here he is next to Batman Reborn. Overall, this is still an upgrade compared to the Return of Superman version that they initially released, and yeah, definitely a huge upgrade because it uses the better body mold. McFarlane really just dropped the ball on this one for not putting any wire on his cape. If they put wire on the cape of this one, this figure would have been perfect. I mean, just look at how his wings looks now, because you cannot pose it. It doesn't have any wire. Anyway, guys, if you've reached this part of my video, thanks a lot. If you like my videos, please don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, guys, enjoy life and keep collecting.